We have been doing missing person cases all month, not the whole entire month of December. Please check the community tab where I have additional missing person cases information, and you can follow the link to other videos that I did in the past based on missing person cases. Now, the story here that I want to talk about is out of Montgomery, Alabama. It happened November 27th, 2018. Her name is Lakira Goldsmith. Lovingly nicknamed by friends and family, they call her Pigg. She was 20 years old when she disappeared several days after Thanksgiving. Her family says the last time they were in contact and seen Lakira, it was on November 27th, 2018. Lakira would go out earlier that day on a date with her boyfriend. Now, he's unnamed in any articles that I've read, and I'm not certain if he is the father of Lakira's then 2-year-old son, Armand. Sometime later, Lakira returned back to Narrow Road to be dropped off by her boyfriend. She resided there with her grandmother and her son. Her grandmother heard the car pull up, and she looked out the window and she seen Lakira getting out of the car. She noticed also that Lakira did not have a coat on, and she made sure that she knew she did not have a coat on, because that's pretty much what the older caring relatives would do. So she probably was like, "Where's your coat at, Lakira?" But that was her granddaughter. She seen her. Lakira's grandmother then headed back to bed. I mean, it's like about, it's after hours. Her granddaughter had made it home, and even though she hadn't came inside, I guess the grandmother was now probably ready to go to bed. Now, the following morning, her grandmother noticed that Lakira never came inside the apartment. Her bed wasn't slept in, so she alerted the family, which now the police were called and a missing persons report was made. And I'm pretty sure they heard what a lot of people hear. They'll probably be back. Maybe they left, stuff like that. But Lakira's family, they know her. And there's no way that she would just go somewhere and not come back. Between the time that Lakira pulled up with her boyfriend, what happened? Why did she not make it inside her apartment? Now, the maintenance man at the apartment complex had seen and even spoke with Lakira, allegedly. He told Lakira's family that he had loaned. This was around 2 a.m., and he said he stepped away for a few minutes to give her some privacy. But when he returned, the phone was laying there on the steps and Lakira was gone. Marshall, that's Lakira's mother, who she updates faithfully on her Facebook page about her missing child, along with other missing people as well. There's also a Find Lakira Goldsmith page that I gathered a lot of this information for this video. Now, Marshall says that her daughter did not leave with the intentions of not coming back, if in fact she left on her own. The police have done nothing in trying to find her daughter. She would have never abandoned her son. And I did also read in the last articles that Lakira's mother is taking care of Armand. Marshall echoes what so many non-white mothers of missing children have said. Why isn't their child getting press? Why aren't the police taking their case as serious as others? It is called the white woman syndrome, the missing white woman syndrome. They are more likely to show the white women that go missing in the media more than any other race. It's just what it is, but it shouldn't be. Lakira's mother even mentioned Gabby Petito. Gabby Petito, I mean, she was talked about so much. She really was. She was talked about, but I know the family, the parents of Gabby, I know they were happy about that. Because when we later found out that the boyfriend was now on the run because he had did something to Gabby. And then when we found out that everyone in this situation was dead, he ended it all for both of them, the media was still talking about it. There even was a movie about it. So, yeah, people are concerned that their children of color doesn't have press like that. And I agree. Now, I said this in my other videos. My Caucasian female friend, she pointed out that the white girls and the white women that are broadcast in the media, they're the pretty ones. So, yeah, the media is going to pick and choose the cases that they want to showcase. And it's terrible. I mean, it's terrible what happened to Gabby, but her story has ended. There are families that would like their stories to end too. Even if it is as devastating as this, they need information. Lakira's family, they steady try to keep her case in the public eye so that she will not be forgotten about. It's been 6 years as of 2024. No trace of Lakira, who would be 26, 27 now, with an 8-year-old son that I'm sure wants his mother in his life. Marshall says she makes sure her grandson knows everything about his mother. She will never let Lakira's son not know about his mom. Now, us just being keyboard detectives and, well, me being a keyboard detective, there's two people. There's two people that, that were around her. So when we look at this and we hear this, we say, okay, the unnamed boyfriend and the unnamed maintenance man, they have to know something more than what was said, if they're saying anything. Did Lakira's boyfriend double back? Did she get in a car with him? Where was her phone? Did Lakira and her boyfriend get into an argument over her phone? Because she is a young woman and I don't really know too many young women. Matter of fact, I don't know too many people that don't have their phones with them. Did her boyfriend see something in her phone that he didn't like? Who was Lakira calling? Was she trying to call her boyfriend or call her phone or call somebody else? These questions may have been answered before, but I could not find them. Why would the maintenance man insert himself in a story? It's been done before. Sometimes people insert themselves in stories out of guilt or to make sure they aren't viewed as bad people in these stories. He loaned his phone and stepped away. How far did he step away and how long did he step away? Was he gone so long and so far away from her and the phone that you didn't see nothing, you didn't hear nothing? The police asked to look at his phone. Did he willingly let them? Or did he even care enough, the police? Did they even care enough to ask to look in the maintenance man's phone? They would have needed a warrant if he declined, but did they ask? And again, that could all be an innocent encounter, but it was one of the last encounters that we know of. So I looked in the comments to see what people are talking about regarding Lakira's disappearance. Now, Montgomery is about 1 hour and 6 minutes from Auburn. That's less than 56 miles. Anaya Blanchard, do you remember that story? She was the 18-year-old girl that was abducted and murdered on October 2019. By this time, Lakira had been missing about a year or so. Anaya's killer is Ibrahim Yazid, who was 29 years old at the time. He lives in Montgomery. Anaya was going to school in Auburn, Alabama, where he bumped into her at a Circle K. All of this is caught on CCTV footage. Yazid was actually out on bond for attempted murder charges, robbery charges at a hotel, and some other things he still should been in jail for when he abducted Anaya. He also had a friend help him hide the body. Now, Yazid allegedly rammed a vehicle into 2 Montgomery police officers trying to kill them, but those cases were dismissed by a grand jury. Other charges, like carrying guns without permits, having weed in the vehicle, sort of stuff like that. So he's just, going from, city to city, state to state, and pretty much doing whatever he wants. And he's getting away with a lot of things, because I believe he got away with a lot of things before he would ultimately end Anaya's life. Now, I brought this up because his name were in the comments. And you guys know how I like looking at comments. His name was in the comments. They said that Yazid and his girlfriend were friends with Lakira, and they were at a hotel room. I mean, is this true? Is this true? Is it not? Or are people just talking? Because if it is true and Lakira knows Yazid, he is a very bad person who would kill someone less than a year after she went missing. It is something that I ran across in comments. They also say that the maintenance man is in jail for other crimes not connected with Lakira. Now, I'm not sure if this is the maintenance man, but I believe it could possibly be Eric Jackson, who goes by E or EJ. I got this information out of one of the Help Find, Lakira posts. A man that is known to work in that area. They said he worked in that apartment complex. He got sentenced to 40 years in prison. He is known for SA on women, DV on women, strangulation, and he was around that complex at the time Lakira and her grandmother resided there. At that same apartment complex, a woman said that he tried to kick in her door at 2 a.m. A lot of women have stories about this man. There are numerous complaints about him. Even accused of burglary, just opening up his door to different units and taking TVs. I mean, Eric Jackson had a lot going on. So, the maintenance man, if this is Eric Jackson, has he been ruled out? Even though he's serving 40 years in jail, in prison, and will probably never get out, has he been ruled out? Unfortunately, where Lakira was living, it wasn't in the better part of the city. The apartments that were rented, some apartments had loiterers in there. And more than likely, crimes were taking place inside those apartments. So, we're looking at Yazid. We're looking at the boyfriend. We're looking at the maintenance man. We're looking at unknown person or people. Because no one has said anything. Police, law enforcement hasn't said anything. Because I'm pretty sure if they had updated Marshall, she would have shared it on her page. If they ruled out anyone, something would have happened. They all can be interviewed. Alibis should have been checked out. Has that been done? 6 years later, they can still be interviewed. Alibis can still be checked out. But 6 years is a long time for people to remember certain things, but it's also just enough time for people to start confessing some things too. So, we don't know. So much is unleft, it's just unsaid, and the story is just sad. It's sad for this family. It is. Her mom, her grandmother, her siblings, her friends, they say stuff all day long. On these pages, they really miss this girl. Lakira suffers from severe asthma. She takes medicine for it. She actually had multiple stays in the hospital due to asthma attacks, and her meds that she needs were left behind. So that should tell you right then that she didn't just run off somewhere. She needed her medicine. If not taking a change of clothes, she needs her medicine. It's supposed to keep her alive. And on that note, I hate to bring that up, but naturally it has to be on one's mind. Lakira, she's been without these meds for years. Difficulty breathing, tightness of the chest, gasping for air, respiratory failure, cardiac arrest, death if not untreated. So is she taking any kind of medicine? Because I'm pretty sure her meds were doctor prescribed. She had maybe an inhaler, and there are over-the-counter ones. I did do a little research on it. They say they may not be as good. They may be even harmful. You know how when you Google stuff, what it says, but they can be used. So if she is being held somewhere, if she's being forced to be somewhere, against her will, she can have an over-the-counter inhaler. She didn't live far from the highway. And we do know that sex trafficking does exist. Though they like, these girls and boys to be much younger, Lakira, she looks young. Lakira looks younger. She really does. Without all the fancy hair and makeup, she looks young. That's why I had different pictures of her. When she has her hair done up and her eyelashes on and her makeup, she looks a little bit older. Not too much older, but without all that, she looks very young. She really does, but I wanted you to see a general idea of what she looks like. Now, I hope I'm not reaching, but everyone knows I love to look on these social media pages, and it seems like, Lakira was with a guy that passed away on April 13th, 2017, a year or so before she would go missing, and I think this may have been the father of her child. She does seem devastated on his passing, as she should be, but I'm thinking a lot of things, like if a fight had arose with the new boyfriend, was it because of the deceased boyfriend? Just a lot of things are going through my head. The maintenance man, he has a history. Did he grab her and bring her into one of those vacant apartments that he knew about? Who knows, right? Or was it an unknown situation? It's just so much speculation that just kept running through my head of what could have happened to this young lady. Lakira, she looks like a trip. She's very energetic. I noticed that her and her mom, they seem to be really good friends. She has this cute, raspy, very southern voice, I must say. And I'm going to play this little clip of it right now so that you can hear her voice, because it's very unique to me. It really is. So I just want to play this clip right here so you can hear her voice.
I'm on $1 billion child. Hope on to live this wild. My life, they ain't got no trial. I'm $1 billion child.
She's just playing around on her Facebook page, and it's a young girl playing around. So, and a lot of people, a lot of her friends say they miss her because she liked to play around all the time, and now they don't know where she is. And I have speculations. I have 2 really big ones, but that's all it is. Speculations, one too many, right? I do hope that this family gets answers, and soon enough. I say this a lot in my videos, but if the family is dealing with a death, they can bury her. They know where she is. They know that she's not being beaten or mistreated any kind of way. They know that whatever has happened to her is over with. And they can start to try to heal from her death, and then they could start to try to seek justice for what has happened to her. But it's the not knowing over and over again that I hear in these stories. The people who are missing, these loved ones, it tears them apart. Marshall has said so many times in interviews that I read, she doesn't know how to go on. She has other children, but she has to take care of them, now including her grandson, and she has to go on for her kids. But I know this weighs heavy on her heart and her mind. I know it does. Lakira Goldsmith, she stood 5'5", between 150 and 180. I don't know if that's the exact weight she was at the time of her disappearance. She does have a lip ring in and a snake eye tongue piercing, and I added a picture of that. Now, to everyone that loved and cared for Lakira Goldsmith, aka Pigg, I hope she's found soon. I hope that information is brought to this family soon.